So which of the following lists of metals/alloys, so metals or alloys, is arranged in order of increasing hardness? Basically, iron with increased carbon content would be the hardest. So we're looking to sort of put that one at the end, or at least not at the start. So it's not D. Copper was the first sort of metal historically that we found that we could refine in these lists. So copper should be first, simply because it would have been the first metal that we used, so it would be the one that we'd tamper around with the most. So it's not B. So it's between A and C now. Now iron with increased carbon content is steel. Okay, so it's going to be much harder than any of the other compounds. So bronze will be harder than copper, but it won't be harder than steel. So A is our correct answer. The alloy of copper and zinc is generically called what? So what do we call the family of alloys that mixes copper and zinc? So if anyone that's watching plays a musical instrument, particularly the saxophone, trumpet, or any of the brass instruments, you should know this, or maybe if you haven't studied your instrument that much, in terms of what it's actually made out of, that might be something for you to do. But copper and zinc are always together produce brass. And for me, I play the saxophone, so I had a look at this earlier. And so for brass players, you should know this now as well. Question 3. Which of the following lists of metals is ordered in decreasing reactivity? Okay, so we want to pick something that has a very high reactive chemical at the start. So potassium is probably the best choice, but let's just check if zinc is at the front of this list, but lithium is at the end. So lithium is far more reactive than zinc, so it can't possibly be ordered with decreasing reactivity, because we'd have the highest reactive chemical at the start. So it's not A, and it can't be C either for the same reason. Sodium is much more reactive than zinc, so it can't be C. That leaves these two. Now, iron is more reactive than copper, so that means that this has been ordered wrong if we want to go from decreasing activity, because potassium is the most reactive, then iron should be the next most reactive, then copper, then gold. So this one's not true. So what we have is potassium, calcium, iron, and nickel. And if you look at the reactivities of each of them, they've been ordered in order of decreasing reactivity. Nickel is less reactive than iron. Iron is less reactive than calcium. Calcium is less reactive than potassium. And so there's our answer.